Excuse me, it's ma'am.
How dare you?
Welcome back, everyone. Yes, indeed. Another little chill stream before we go live on the main show today. I want to thank you all for taking time out to come and join yours truly on the #1 abnormal paranormal show on any network. Yes, indeed, we're back. We're live. How you all doing out there? ZX, I thought, had his doppelganger in the chat room for a while there. We were getting double posting coming up. Just one of these crazy ghost in the machine type glitches that happen around this show from time to time. But that's okay, because we're used to it by now, right? And I know a bit earlier today, so I can get the stream done, get dinner ordered, or get it made. I don't know what I'm doing yet for Anne coming in from work. And then we will go to the main show later on at 10 p.m. in the UK. And today, we're going to get into some really interesting ancient woo. And it's just a couple of stories to chill out over, hang out over, and nothing too serious today. These pre-show streams, this is me just getting my mojo ready, you know, building up to the main game in town. And yesterday, I want to thank all of you for your patience. A lot of problems, and it was nothing to do with the network. It's unfortunately the technology. And, you know, I think it's absolutely amazing that when we do have some problems, it usually only takes about maybe a segment to get it all fixed. And I think it's really important to remember that TFR, it's really like a mum and pop kind of job, as you call it over there in America. And it's just Chris and Cherie and a lot of the hosts to help out on the back end. So a big shout out to all of them for fixing the glitch yesterday. And we had Dawn on, we had Kev, Nacy. Wow, that guy, he's going to be coming back a lot more onto the show because not only do you like to hear from him, I do as well. And he's got that connection to the old world, the old ways, as I call it, through his Native American heritage. And you know that I like to explore these ancient stories, ancient times, ancient mysteries. And in recent times, we've really concentrated a lot of our time and effort into looking at what's been going on down under. Not just in present times, you know, covering the fires, things like that previously, but we've been looking back in time, right? And we had Luna and Donnie, and of course Jess, Mammoth Hunter, was co-hosting. And that was at the weekend there. And I've got some Australian woo to get into today for us to chill out over. I've also got an update on, remember the ancient cubes? Remember the mystery cubes that were fished out of a river? The guy claimed he'd been magnet fishing. I didn't even know it was a thing. My stepdad assures me it is, though. And he had found these ancient cubes with Sanskrit on them. Well, I have got the most phenomenal update to that story. And it is everything woo. It's everything that we love here. And I want to give some of you a shout out in the chat room. I see Pollinations in there. And yes, no laughing at the hair, folks. It's getting ridiculous looking, right? So we've got Rhesus. I see Rhesus is in there. Polly. Queen. And yes, Queen is a number of, or one of several people that I reach out to and send the links to physically, because I know the notification isn't exactly the best here. And that's okay. We work around it, so it's good to see you, Queen. Got Spooky Andy in there. I linked him up as well. And then we've got ZX weapon times 5. We've got 5 weapons, dude. That's pretty good going. We've got AJ McCammond. And yes, I do have a lot of digital firewood in the background, as you can see. Who else we got in there? Nothing as it seems. Donnie or Dante Carter from Philly. Big shout out to you, Dante. That's pretty cool, man. Awesome. We've got the Wookiee. And may I give umpteen shout outs to the Wookiee. In fact, this is now the Wookiee. And you can even see my duster sitting on the table here as well. But this is the Wookiee, right? And the Wookiee has done something very, very special for not just me, but the entire channel. Because at the weekend, I'm going to be indulging in training myself how to use After Effects. And we're going to see a lot more of original graphics coming on here to the stream. So I want to give the Wookiee a big, huge shout out. Now, he insisted that I didn't thank him. No, he did. And I'm only joking, Wookiee. But thank you so much, brother. Want to give Just a Guy a shout out as well. We're going to take a look at some of his videos on the stream here. He has some weird weather happening. And I also want to give a shout out to Grover Hunter and his friends in the Emerald Triangle. Grover is rapidly becoming one of our biggest kind of promoters out there. And the Emerald Triangle, come on, what better place to be listening to the Kev Baker Show. So a big shout out to all of you guys out there as well. So we're going to get into some ancient woo. I've done enough waffling. The algorithm will start to get a bit pissed if I don't soon switch into what we're going to talk about. And like I mentioned before, we spoke to Donnie, we spoke to Luna and Jess about the Aboriginal ways, all that woo, all that wisdom, ancient technologies, giant stone axe heads, all that kind of thing. Now, that built upon the shows that we've previously done in Australia, and we're really lucky to have our own resident archaeologists down there in Oz. That's Mammoth and her husband Dan. And they've been on the show once together. And then we had Jess and Bruce Fenton. Now, Bruce Fenton is somebody that's wrote a book about an alternative theory of the story of mankind. And I don't know what... my fire just changed in the background. Goodness knows what that was all about. It's like I'm some kind of ooga booga bad guy. And... no, but we were getting into all of this ancient stuff, right, to do with Australia. And today, we've got a story about cave art from Australia, only with a difference. Because this cave art, they say, has ancient links to magic and sorcery. Yes, indeed, folks. So if we come on over here, we will see it when I come to this page. And remember to subscribe to the channel. The growth, the way that we're steadily growing on here is absolutely phenomenal. I want to thank you all for subscribing, and really great going. We're up to 4,300 subscribers now, so we're still growing the more we use this back-end channel we've got going on here. And that is great news, folks, and I thank you so much for that. Let's get into this ancient cave art, and let's just take a look at that to begin with. You know, it's always the colours that strike me about Australia, from the orange colour of the soil to the colours that we see in their cave art. And if we come down, it says, a study reveals a rare Aboriginal rock art's link with sorcery and magic. So I know it's the middle of the night down under in Australia right now, but to all you Australians that watch this after we finished here today, you know, I'm only reading from this article. There's probably bits in it that might trigger you. I don't know. Maybe it's not quite as accurate as we would get from, say, Donnie and Luna. But let's talk about this here. It says, in Australia, a team of researchers have made some dramatic new findings regarding one of the world's most important rock art assemblages. And this Aboriginal rock art is among the very few examples of miniature motifs found anywhere in the world. And the study used ethnographic studies and experimental archaeology in innovative ways to understand the art and its social and cultural role in Indigenous Australian society. And I always love it when you hear about them using new techniques. Now, not all of them are going to pan out to be better than the stuff that we've been using in the past, but it shows that the field of archaeology, in this case, it is moving with the times, or at least it's trying to move with the times. And come on, let's face it, when we hear Jess and Dan talking, this new breed of archaeologist that's coming out of Australia, it might just be the kind of breath of fresh air that we need when you're into all this ancient woo. So it says the globally important artworks in the, oh, here we go, Yilbilly Inji? That'll do. Yilbilly, see, I've butchered it. Yilbilly Inji, that'll do. Rock shelter in the Limmen National Park. And that's in the Northern Territories of Australia, like we can see here, right up the north. And it says a team of anthropologists worked with park rangers and members of the Mara Aboriginal people. Well, actually, that should be the Mara mob, right? Because we learned that the groups, the different tribes, clans, they actually go by mob. So the Mara mob to survey the rock art. Now, the cave is owned by the Mara group, and it's traditionally played a very important role in their history and the beliefs. So it says in 2017, the researchers surveyed over 300 images, including paintings, prints, and stencils. And what's intrigued the team were the 17 miniature stenciled motifs that were created using a white spray and are located in the right hand and the centre of the shelter. Now, that comes from a report in Antiquity, and they are extremely rare, and only 2 other assemblages have been found, one also in Australia and another in Indonesia. Now, when we had Bruce on the show, we were talking about the movement of people out of Australia. Some say they came into Australia, and interesting how you get this commonality. Almost you can trace and track where these people moved over time. So it says the images include some 4 doll-like human figures, one with a shield and the rest with boomerangs. Now, there are also some images of long-necked turtles and their tracks and a crab. Now, there are also some geometric designs, such as wavy lines. Now, you have to wonder, what were ancient people using wavy lines to depict? Is it the waves? Is it sky? Interesting, right? So it says a European pipe has also been identified. And all of these motifs are common in Indigenous Australian art. Dr. Liam Brady, who took part in the study, told Ancient Origins that, quote, they would probably do no more than 400 or 500 years old. But this is only speculative and requires detailed work. So we can see the actual things here. And you can make out the kind of 2 legs. You see the body going up. Now, this could be something coming down here. Not too sure, but it looks like it's got a big head to me. That one definitely looks like a big head. Now, this over here looks like the leg of some kind of animal, maybe. You see it better there. And there's the crab. Or at least what we are thinking is a crab, or what we're told is a crab, okay? And it says number 6, if we come up here. That one there. That's an anthropomorph holding a boomerang. So it's something human-like holding a boomerang. And you can see almost the shape down there, I suppose. And it says number 7, holding a shield. So this is number 7 here. So I see something, well, there's 2 legs there as well, another thing. I suppose that could be a shield, I don't know. Looks like the same thing there. That's both number 7, I would imagine. Number 8, the boomerang. Okay. Number 9, the crab, like I said. And number 10, a long-necked turtle. Yeah, and you see, I wonder if I would have seen the turtle if I hadn't read that. Maybe, because you get the kind of head coming out, two kind of arm type, flippery type things, right? So it says the mystery of the motifs. An antiquity press release states that Indigenous Australians have stenciled full-size body parts, animals, and objects to make art for millennia. And the miniature rock art is too small to have been made in this way, and this prompted the team to investigate how they were made. So the team used experimental archaeology to replicate the methods used to create the tiny images. So that's kind of cool. You know, if you can come up with the same way, if you can replicate how these images were done, I can see where they're coming from. So it says a stencil was used to create the images and paint made from kaolin clay, and water was applied to a paintbrush and flicked over and around the mold, reports Antiquity. And the researchers noted that most of the assemblages comprised of motifs with well-rounded or curved edges. It appears that some of the malleable substance was used to form the stencils. And you can see there, almost all up against that back wall, you can see the dots and things. And pareidolia kicks in there, right? Or pareidolia, whatever you want to call it. You start seeing shapes and faces and all of it. So it says beeswax. The experts knew that mud and clay might have been used to make stencils. However, ethnographers had recorded that right until the 1980s, groups of Indigenous Australians had carried balls of beeswax during their wanderings, and the beeswax was heated and softened over hot coals based on ethnographic descriptions of life at Mara bush camps. And the beeswax was used in a variety of ways to fix harpoons or to make children's toys. And it appears that the beeswax was fashioned into images, Dr. Brady told Ancient Origins, that based on our interpretation, the holders of the beeswax chose to shape a thing, animals, humans, geometric shapes, and then placed it on a rock and sprayed pigment around it. So they're like ancient graffiti artists, right? Crazy. The beeswax allowed the artists to create small but detailed images and meant that they could easily affix them to the rock shelter. And the next phases of the research involved identifying the motifs for producing the tiny artworks and their social context. Now, it was suggested that they were used by artists as practice pieces or were made by children. However, the rock shelter is very important in the local culture and is associated with the ancestral being, capital letters, something very important to these people, whom the Mara believe visited the rock shelter. Now, an ancestral being. So, we learnt during the show with Luna and with Donnie, and it was try to find the show here. There it is there. Now, we learned that through Luna, she was talking about the fact that when she was a teenager, she had a bit of a tough time because she would feel the calling, as she described it. And when you start to get into the dreamland or dream time, whatever way you want to describe that, it is the ancestors that have walked the land before, and they believe in a lot of reincarnation, stuff like that. So this ancestral being, this must have been somebody from way back in the day, possibly. And there's part of me wonders if the ancestral being even came from the sky. But we'll get back into this. Let's see how it goes on. Let's see how it continues. Let's pull it up here. And it says, Dr. Brady stated that the Mara were making these miniature stencils in their landscape that is filled with the memories of these ancestors who continue to care for it. And the Mara's belief about the cave led the team to believe that the images were associated with magic and sorcery. So a neighbouring Aboriginal mob believed until relatively recently that stencils had supernatural powers. Now, antiquity reports that men with the right spirit who sang, quote, potent songs over the motifs would empower the motifs to ensorcel and kill people. Moreover, beeswax is regarded by many Indigenous Australians as having supernatural associations. Now, these are all things that we can get back into with the guys when they come back on, Luna and Donnie and Jess next month, and Ken might be joining us as well. And it says, however, there is no evidence for this in the Mara culture, but it was observed that many men were afraid of the images on the rock shelter right up until the 1970s. Now, this would strongly suggest that the miniature images had an association with sorcery and magical practices. And these images were also of great social importance. Dr. Brady exclusively revealed to Ancient Origins that rock art isn't an isolated phenomenon. It's tied up with many different aspects of Mara life, such as exchange, social interaction, and gender. And I find that all really cool because remember Donnie was talking about going to see those ancient stones. They said they held power. Almost you could communicate with star beings. Okay, you need to go and listen to that show, folks. It was phenomenal. But this here, you see, I can easily see how adult men, if they're around something that they know there's a deeper meaning to, they might not want to get around it. They might feel weirded out. Fascinating. So Dr. Brady also told Ancient Origins that, quote, we have recently discovered two other miniature small-scale motifs at a nearby site, which suggests this production technique is not restricted to Yilbillinji. Yilbillinji, there you go. Got it by the end. Further work may reveal even more images in the Northern Territories, and this would greatly, or could greatly enrich experts' understanding of this rare form of rock art in Australia and indeed elsewhere. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. And we've got another take on the same kind of story here. We'll scroll back up. It's miniature rock art found in Australia may have been stenciled by children. Now, I bring that up because isn't it interesting? Because there's the two different headlines. And when you get into the story, as we found out there, you find out that they can't decide whether it was children that were doing it or whether it was adults, and it did have some kind of mystical, magical kind of meaning. But then over here, you see how that frames a story in a totally different way of looking at it right off the bat when you go into the story. I just thought it was pretty interesting. But here's some of the actual templates, the stencils that they were using. And you can see there, that's obviously the boomerang ones. You've got the wee guy with the boomerang there. And then we come over here, and this is from December last year. And it says, is this cave painting humanity's oldest story? Now, this is Indonesia. Now, I bring this up again because we're over in the same part of the world, and I think there really is a lot of importance and a lot of stuff that we need to really piece together there to find the kind of early story of our journey to where we are today. But check this out, right? Because Indonesian rock art dated to 44,000 years old seems to show mythological figures in a hunting scene. So if we scroll down here, you start to see it. Just look at that. Now that there is pretty cool. And you see the animal. It says the section of an ancient cave art discovered in Indonesia that depicts a type of buffalo called an anoa, right facing several smaller human animal figures. And you can it's almost those old lines, maybe they're arrows or there's some kind of thing that they're throwing at this animal. But it says a cave wall depiction of a pig and buffalo hunt is the world's oldest recorded story, claims archaeologists who discovered the work on the Indonesian island Sulawesi or Sulawesi. Now, the scientists say that the scene is more than 44,000 years old. I mean, come on. That's like even older than Jimmy Jeans. And hey, Jimmy's out and about right now. I invited him on today, but maybe he'll be on the main show with me tonight. I'm not sure. But obviously poking some fun there. But it says the 4.5 meter long panel features reddish brown forms that seem to depict human like figures hunting local animal species. Now, something else you have to look at there as well, right? See if these wee things here are meant to be like human type figures or something. That's one heck of a size of a beast, right? What on earth were they taking on? That's something like, I'm not saying it's a dinosaur, but it's something massive, right? That's a Nepal beast. You better be ready to take one of them on. You don't want to come stumbling across that when you're out for a walk, right? But we keep coming down. I digress. Yes. It says, previously rock art found in European sites dated to around 1400 to 2100 years old and were considered to be the world's eldest or oldest clearly narrative artworks. And the scientists working on the latest finds say that the Indonesian art predates these. Now, hang on a minute. Pull up the chat, make sure everything's going all right in there. Looking very distinguished, says Susie. Wow. Hey, must be a good day if I'm looking distinguished, I'm telling you. You can't be setting the bar too high there, Susie. But I'll take the compliment for sure, right? And it goes on to say here that, yeah, we got past that bit, didn't we? And I've never seen anything like this before. I mean, we've seen hundreds of rock art sites in this region, but we've never seen anything like a hunting scene, says Adam Brum, an archaeologist at the Griffith University in Brisbane, Australia, whose team describes the finding in Nature on the 11th of December. And it says other researchers say that the discovery is important because the animal paintings are also the oldest figurative artworks, those that clearly depict objects or figures in the natural world on record. But some aren't yet convinced by the claim the panel represents a single scene or story. They suggest it might be a series of images painted over the course of perhaps 10,000 years. And whether it's a scene is questionable, says Paul Pettit, an archaeologist and rock art specialist at Durham University, UK. It says they've invented everything, Pablo Picasso is reported to have said after visiting the famed Lascaux cave in France's Dordogne Valley. And this site, discovered in 1940, includes hundreds of animal figures painted around 17,000 years ago. An image from the cave and others from the same period are widely considered to be the earliest known narrative artworks. Now that's 17,000 years ago. We were talking about 44,000 years ago when it comes to the Indonesian ones, right? And did the people that made them, did they come out of Australia up the way? Or, as we're told, did all this migration happen out of Africa and then all the way down? And bear in mind that they were going towards volcanoes and things, if you think that. Really, really cool. Who knows? It says an image from the cave and others from the same period are widely considered to be the earliest known narrative artworks. And in the decades since, archaeologists have discovered even older rock art, dating to around 30 to 40,000 years ago, including depictions of animals and stylized symbols in European caves such as Chauvet or Chauveau, Chauvet in France, and I can't do Spanish. I don't know why I do that when I do the French thing. The French people often do that with their hands when they talk. I don't know. And El Castillo in Spain, that was actually not bad. So here you go. There's people looking at this cave art, and I've had a good few people on talking about this in the past. James Swagger, Bernie Taylor. He talks about the cave art, that kind of thing. Many researchers assumed that the rock art found later in Africa, Australia, and Asia was younger than these European works, and such artworks are notoriously difficult to date because they can be made with raw materials such as charcoal that can be much older than the paintings themselves. But the scientists, including Brum, jolted the archaeological world when they reported in 2014 and 2018 that caves in Sulawesi and Borneo held artworks, including animal paintings, that were older than 40,000 years, of similar age and perhaps older to those created during the European Ice Age. We could keep going down there. It's a whole lot of... Oh, not too far to go. Let's see what it says. Popcorn dating. Now, see, this is the thing when it comes to dating these things. Can we really take them? I usually look at it as a ballpark figure, but even then, they were already saying how really hard to date this, organic materials and... let's just say it's really old. Definitely very, very old. It says to determine the age of the hunting scene, researchers led by archaeologist Maxine Aubert at Griffith analysed calcite popcorn that had built up on the painting. Now, radioactive uranium in the mineral slows decays into thorium. So by measuring the relative levels of different isotopes of these elements, the researchers were able to determine that calcite atop one pig began forming at least 43,900 years ago, and deposits on two Anoa are older than 40,900 years. So the dating gives scientists clue about the origins of the figurative art. It's always been assumed that the tradition of figurative paintings across Europe, says Alistair Pike, an archaeological scientist at the University of Southampton. Now, this shows the tradition does not have its origins in Europe, but he notes that the researchers dated only the portions of the painting that show animals. So it's possible that the therianthropes, I think I got that right, were later or added later. And Aubert, don't want to get it wrong, the team did not find calcite samples on the therianthropes. Probably butchered it. So in other parts of the world, including Europe, Africa, and North America, depictions of humans alongside animals did not start becoming common until about 10,000 years ago, says Petit. And so without solid dates attached, I'd certainly conclude that the human figures are much younger than the other depictions. And Aubert thinks that the animals and the therianthropes were painted at the same time. They are of similar colour and weathered in the same way, he notes, and all other cave art from the region is from the same time period. And archaeologist Bruno David at Monash University in Melbourne, Australia, agrees with Aubert's interpretation. Nonetheless, he says, it would be worth testing whether the pigments used to paint the animals and the therianthropes are the same. And if I have to say that word one more time, if the entire painting is more than 44,000 years old, it could mean that early humans have arrived in Southeast Asia with the capacity for symbolic representation and storytelling, David says. Archaeologists have already found paintings or paint palettes and objects such as eggshells with abstract engravings made by early humans in South Africa, he adds. And to finish it off, it says it's probably only a matter of time before narrative paintings of this, and much older, are found in Africa. You know why I'm laughing there? Because that's a desperate attempt to hold on to the whole we came out of Africa, folks. You know, you can't have cave art predating what they've got in Africa because that kind of throws that whole theory into mayhem, chaos. And you see how they refuse, they just refuse, some of them, to alter their way of thinking and say, you know what, maybe looking at some of the evidence now, maybe we didn't come out of Africa. Maybe there is something to this into Africa theory. Hold on, 2 seconds. There you go. I'll go to the main camera, I'll show you. Yep. And there's the book I'm talking about with Bruce Fenton. So that's my daytime reading right now. Autographed. Yes. I know. But really interesting. You know what else is interesting? I'm going to have a drink of my coffee. I'm going to pee. I'm going to get back to you all in a minute. We'll catch up with the chat, see what you're saying about the ancient paintings, and then we'll get into the ancient, real crazy kind of woo about these ancient cubes that are written in Sanskrit. This is going to blow your mind, folks, because it connects into shows that we've been doing recently. Think magic dice, think Sanskrit, think tulpomancy. Just think, folks, thanks to the Wookiee, come next week, see these graphics you see here? Oh, we're gonna have lots more to choose from. Oh, telling you, I love what we've got going on here right now. Thank you all so much. And do we all like our... That's me in emoji form on my archaeological quest to dig up the woo of the past. Do you like it? I think it's pretty cool, right? Looks like me, eh? Not the hair, maybe, but Indiana emoji. Actually looks like an Australian archaeologist. I should have put some corks on the hat, right? You think? It's the dude! It is the dude! Dude, you're the emoji, man. today's woo was brought to you by the mother of the Kev Baker Show. Yeah, not joking. Our update on the mystery cubes comes from... Hey, thank you so much.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Kev is Scottish too.
I am, right to the core. I am. Thank you so much, Lothar. And again, we still need to get together, man. Yeah, we need to sort a date for our number 33 show. We're going all 33 in Masonic. Ooh, booga booga. No, that's going to be good stuff. And thank you, Lothar. But yeah, the next bit of woo, I was talking about mystery cubes that had allegedly, okay, I want to throw that out there, allegedly been fished out of a river by somebody who went magnet fishing. Now, I had no idea magnet fishing was a thing in the first place, but it is. And then a ZX absolutely rightly, repeatedly points out there's a real problem at the heart of this story before we get to the deep woo attached to these pesky cubes. Because unless we're missing something, and unless we're on some kind of different timeline and new reality where metals and magnets and things work differently, then we've got a bit of a problem at the heart of the story, right? So we come over here and I'll show you the problem. Because lead, it's a very heavy metal. But like gold, lead is not magnetic. Now, even though lead is not magnetic, it can interact slightly with magnetic fields. And that's why when you have, for example, Oak Island, they found the lead cross, you will get a return. It does have an effect. It makes a different sound. And no, I'm never doing that again, because I've probably triggered dogs and other various animals around the world, all right? But I get it. Now, I've said that probably my suspicion, if I was being the Indiana Jones on this one, I think this guy dug them up somewhere that he shouldn't have been digging. And he maybe didn't think about it long enough. He obviously didn't think about it long enough, or he didn't know that you can't pick lead up with a magnet. But don't let that take away from what is some good ancient woo. Because at the heart of this, we're talking about ancient cubes, right? That were returned from somewhere in and around England, in the Coventry, Midlands area. And on them are really kind of crazy inscriptions and hieroglyphs and weird looking kind of markings. But it turns out they're Sanskrit. Now, when I covered the story the first time, my mum had sent me a link at the time and I hadn't looked at it. But what was in it is mind-blowing. Because somebody's decoded what these crazy, cool little cubes are all about. And it's the kind of woo that we're all about on KBS. Check this out. Mystery cubes found in a Coventry river have cosmic powers. And here we go, folks. Dr. Vijay Rajapadohaye, and that will do his name. Dr. Vijay, we're going to call him, has unlocked the mystical significance of more than 60 cubes found resting in the shallows. Now, look at them. There they are there. Really, really cool. Now, again, let's get past the whole magnet fishing. They've come from somewhere. And it's what they are that's really, really interesting. It says, an eminent Sanskrit teacher based in India has shed more light on the haul of mysterious cubes that were found in a Coventry river. Dr. Vijay revealed that the inscribed objects are mystical numerological diagrams used to channel cosmic power and keep the forces of a destructive planet at bay. So Dr. Vijay, that's what we call him, Dr. V in the house, he responded after a magnet fisherman out with his two sons found 60 of the magic squares in the River Sow, which he was able to pick up with his hands. He picked up with his hands in shallow water. You see? Maybe we're getting round it now, dude. Maybe we're getting round it, ZX. Scroll down. Yeah, a horrible website. Well Reed from Finham later learned the objects were made of lead and showed mystical inscriptions in a grid on each face. I wonder if he heard our stream and he was watching the chat and he realised ZX had kind of called him out. He'd busted him. I wonder, ZX, if you've changed this story, my friend. It says the riddle of how the cubes, embellished in Sanskrit, the ancient liturgical language of Hinduism, ended up on a riverbed in the south of the city, has captured the imagine of people in the UK and in India. And Dr. Vijay, project director of the Indian Culture and Heritage at the Delhi College Indore in Madhya Pradesh, and that's central India, has given a detailed explanation of the numerical system shown on the objects, which is related to astrology. So here we are here. Where is he now? So that's the dude here. This is our cat. He says in an email, he said, cubes like these with numerical inscriptions engraved on lead squares are called Rahu Yantra. Now, Yantra is a mystical diagram mainly from the tantric religious traditions of Hinduism in India. And yantras are also great cosmic conductors of energy and an antenna of nature. Now, the eyes and mind concentrate on the center of the yantra to achieve higher levels of consciousness. And according to Hindu astrology, Rahu Yantra is made of lead or copper. Now, yantras are made either in square or rectangle form and are engraved with auspicious numbers whose sum total should come to 36, while countered horizontally or vertically. It's like an ancient game of Sanskrit Sudoku with magic powers. How cool is that, right? But it says here, Dr. V identified the Hindu belief system enshrined within the cubes as relating to the shadow planet Rahu. I like that, Rahu, which exerts, a god-like influence. Ooh, ooga booga.
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
I said nothing about man or ma'am. I mentioned a god. It's quite generic. It's very open-ended. You absolute loon ball.
How dare you?
You tell him, Greta. So it said, he said, no, okay. The Sanskrit syllable inscribed on yantras are essentially, here we go, this is the bit I was wanting to get to, thought forms representing divinities or cosmic powers which exert their influence by means of sound vibration. And why is the thought form very relevant to what we talk about here on the Kev Baker Show? I'll tell you why it's relevant. Because we were talking last week about Siren Head, the newest tulpa to turn up online. Tulpas, Slenderman, something that went from pure fiction, an idea in somebody's mind, a competition online, and eventually that much energy goes into that point of attention, that character itself gains a life of its own. And now we have these magical cubes for thought forms representing divinities or cosmic powers. And they already told you focus your attention right into the middle of that. Right into the middle of it. And then you start to manifest divinities and cosmic powers. And there's the whole sound vibration. Because, ladies and gents, I don't need to be somebody with letters on after my name to tell you right now categorically that everything is based on sound and vibration and frequency. Nikola Tesla, he kind of clued us up on that long time ago, and that was the path not taken. Pesky us. But yeah, sound vibration. So the teacher, whose father, oh dang, Dr. V Sr., was a renowned astrologer, also explained the significance of Rahu. He said Rahu is considered a shadow planet. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. Were they trying to ward off Nibiru? Were they? Oh no, I just deleted one of my sound clips. But were they trying to ward off Nibiru? Do you think so? It says here every planet has a visual and physical existence, but Rahu does not have any physical shape. My mind's melted. Lead is linked with one side of the moon's orbit, known as Rahu, and its colour is grey. Rahu is popularly known for its malefic effect and is associated with laziness, delays in work, and obstacles, none of which are alien to me. What's this old Rahu? What are you doing to me, Rahu? So Dr. V explained that the cubes were also used to protect worshippers from the planet. He said the Rahu mantra is chanted 108 times. On Wednesday and Saturday, 8 handmade Rahu yantra are to be made, and after completion of worship, these are to be immersed in the flowing water of a river. 108 times. And you know, that's obviously something about building up some kind of rhythm, almost maybe some standing wave, create some acoustical effect that we don't know what it does rippling through the ether. That's all around us, it's everywhere in the universe, but we can't see it. That's the thing where all the data lies. That's the thing where all the quantum connections are as well. It's where the woo really is woven, I'm telling you. See, you keep coming down here. It says Dr. I don't know whether it's like the young one or the da now. So we're just going to say that's one of them. He's also a consultant for the International Association of Sanskrit Studies in Paris. And he has links to Coventry through Sahyadri Friends Group, which brings together families with roots in different parts of India for events and activities in the city. And he is the uncle of group member Aditi Kibi's husband, Kapil Kibi. And Aditi, and now I'm really lost, a Warwickshire student, or a Warwick University student, said, quote, as mentioned, Rahu is one of the 9 planets mentioned in Hindu scriptures. These days, it's very rare for somebody to perform an elaborate ritual dedicated to one planet, unless told to by an astrologer. Generally, we do simple ones encompassing all the planets and other Hindu deities. So yeah, that's the end of that one there. But there you go, folks. That is the ancient woo, and the link to tulpas and thought forms and things from other realms making their way into our reality is what we're looking at there. And don't laugh, but what we're looking at there, it might look old and ancient and kind of weird to us. That's literally like some kind of Stargate. That's almost like a form of what Donnie from Australia was talking about when he said those stones are like connected to the Palladians, or the Pallades, sorry. Remember that? Never dismiss anything off the bat. Just because in our time, our technology doesn't look anything like this, doesn't mean in their time, this was literally the gateway to other worlds. And if that ain't woo, well, I ain't doing my job right. I'm telling you. I'll be back in a moment to hang out with you in the chat room and then get ready for the main show later on. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a moment. Polly is digging the archaeological woo. Pardon the obvious pun. I had to go there. Yes, we have got the dude. You're rocking it in that image there, brother. Absolutely rocking it. But I really enjoy this type of info. I really enjoy kind of opening the mind, thinking about it. And you can almost, I'm not saying physically, but in your mind's eye, and who knows how powerful the mind's eye is, but you can transport yourself, you know, back there. Maybe you can do that astral travel thing, quieten the mind, go back in time, and then ask yourself what you're seeing. Is that your imagination, or are you really going back in time? Because remember, it's all out there. Everything, past, present, future, your little antenna, the third eye. You just got to open it. Maybe you're seeing it, maybe you're imagining it. But it could be both. It's a bit of a weird one though, right? I was just thinking about what I said there. You ever say something, you just go with the flow, but it's only after you've said it you think about it. And it does make you wonder, doesn't it, when you like imagine. And I'm not saying, but if you were really to concentrate and imagine and think back to somewhere, I mean, are you really like, are you potentially getting a taste of it? Some of that real information, does that help to form the scenarios and all of the environment we create in that space between our ears? And remember, nothing else really exists apart from that space between your ears, because that's where it all happens, isn't it? It's where it's all decoded. All the rest of it, it's all just waves, it's all just photons, it's all just particles, it's a soup of energy we're in. Apart from these pesky brains that people like me and you, we just use them far too much to think, right? I don't know, but maybe the mind's eye truly is a window to other worlds. And I'm sure people out there will be screaming, we've been telling you that for years, Baker. But yes, indeed. Hope you're enjoying this ancient woo today with how did I become Scotland's #1 coverer of Australian woo? Now, that is a really crazy world that we're in. I'll need to check the antipodal point of where Glasgow is. Maybe it'll come out somewhere in Australia. Wouldn't that be kind of crazy? Oh, hang on, I'm going to check that right now. And of course, the antipodal, right? That's where you stick like a pencil through the planet. So if you stick it through Geneva, Switzerland, CERN, it comes out actually just off New Zealand down there. So I'm going to check the antipodal of Glasgow. So the antipodal of Glasgow, check this out. This is so weird. Holy cow. Look at that. The antipodal of Glasgow is Papatowai, Otago, New Zealand. Hardly a million miles away, right? It's only going to that place. But, whoa. Wow. Let's have a look at this place. Nice place. So if I went right through the earth, through the other side, I'd end up not far from Australia. That freaks me the out. That freaks me out. That really freaks me out. Why does it freak me out? Because I'm not obsessed, but somewhere that I really like. Kind of cool, kind of crazy, kind of woo. That's how we roll here. Don't worry about it. You either get it, you don't. But, Mannerus. Yes, indeedy. Good to see you. I know, AJ Polly, that was pretty weird, right? That weirded me right out. Right out. Yeah. When your third eye is open, you can astral project anywhere, says Queen Goddess. Love you, Queen Goddess. You're, when you talk about this stuff, really, really cool. Mannerous laughing. Yeah, I got a little bit freaked there, folks. I must admit, that was a bit too close to my prediction point. If that had landed in Yellow Benji, I think I got it right this time. That would have just... I'm not even going to swear. I almost swear it freaked me that much. But folks, I don't know of any idea what I'm going to be covering on today's Kev Baker show. I'm going to be really honest with you all right now. Yep, I've been enjoying the weather. I've been unplugging from the Matrix. I've been topping up on the vitamin D, growing my hair out, as you can tell. Dave Baker, Dave's been kind of quiet these days. Don't know what he's up to. But yeah, I'm going to be opening the phones tonight on the show. And let's get into the woo, let's keep it woo, let's not go dark, let's keep it nice, fun, kind of weird and wacky and crazy stuff. I'll find some more of that in the meantime. And remember folks, we've got the Discord server. Remember to hang out over there. Everyone more than welcome. I'm going to drop a link to that in the chat room for you all right now. Don't go anywhere. Let's see. Invite people. Okay. Trying, folks. I'm trying. There it is. There it is. I've got it. I've got it. Copy. Right, I'm going to put this in the chat room. More than welcome to go and hang out over there. Don't be a douchebag. You'll just end up getting kicked out. We've never had any douchebags. I haven't had to kick anyone out. But you can carry on the conversation. You can talk about whatever the heck you want over there. It might have my name on the door, but it's just somewhere where we all go to hang out when I'm not streaming or when you've got nothing else to do. When you want to be reminded that you're not crazy, you're not alone. We are all interconnected, and whether we do it through ancient Sanskrit Rubik's Cubes or our third eyes, we'll get there somehow. The portals are opening before us. Yes, they are. And talking of portals, I'll be getting kicked in my portal if I don't get a move on and get ready for my other half, Annie, coming home from work. You lot absolutely rock. I've absolutely loved this stream. It's been brilliant. Sometimes it's nice just being alone to goof out with all you people. And it always puts me in the right mood, the right frame of mind, and it focuses me for the show ahead. Remember, starting now, I've got an hour and 40 minutes to put together something that is worthy of your time. And I know I'm going to do it because there's so much in the world to talk about that it's going to keep you coming back for more. I really do hope that. Now, if you are somebody that watches a lot of channels on YouTube as well, just stand by, folks, because there's going to be a whole heap of drama and a whole heap of can of worms opening up around some of the channels that people watch. Now, it's something I don't get involved with, but it's something that I hope people in the chat room were going to be receptive, maybe, of new people looking for information, maybe new people coming to channels like this, as some of the old LARPs and games that have been playing out for years now start to come to a really, really kind of grim end. There's going to be a lot of connections getting exposed. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening. And I can assure you, over here, we'll keep it drama-free. But it's going to be a heck of a popcorn moment. Watch this space. You know, I'll be dropping some stuff in Discord. I don't take it to my channel here. But I tell you, some of these bigger kind of stories that so many people have been following, they've been bust open years ago. But just wait, because it's going to get messy sometime real soon. But we'll be here. We're immune from it all. I've kept us away from all of that. And I hope you appreciate it. And that's why sometimes we don't go into topics that a lot of other channels just jump onto. There's reasons we stay away from some of the topics and some of the characters out there. And like I say, I don't do the drama on here. But we're all going to see some real interesting stuff over the next couple of months. Mark my words. So I want you all, if you have the time, to come over, join me on the main show today. I may simulcast. I might not. I'll have to see what's happening. I might be watching something on TV. There might be things going on. But I still want to thank you all. You know, we made a big move away from simulcasting every show to doing maybe just one a week, and we do the Freaky Friday, but we've still got these streams and the weekend streams. But you've all continued to keep up your support, you know, be it financial or just being here, part of what's going on. And I really thank you for that. Really, really do. It's been big changes, but I'm still enjoying everything. And I really enjoy it, whether we're simulcasting, whether we're on TFR. It's all good because we all come together and it's all a good bunch of people and there's a good vibe. Sometimes I hit the money with the topics I bring up. Sometimes it's a miss. But I know, or I hope that I know that you have got my back all the way. And I promise, I've got your back. So then, until later on, just under or just over an hour and a half, I will be back. And it will be me, it won't be Dave Baker, I promise. Maybe it will, I don't know, maybe we'll crack open Dave and we'll get into some real crazy stuff. But yeah, that's 10 o'clock in the UK, and that's 5 o'clock on the East Coast. I've done this over 1,300 times and I still have to think about it. That's not a good sign, right? But it's 2 o'clock on the West Coast, I know that. And I want you all to be checking here. I might do the simulcast. If not, definitely on TFR Live. That's 24/7. Or I'll be on tfrlive.com/chat. You can join us in there. Either way, all three ways, who knows? I'll be back at 10 o'clock and I hope you can all join me. Until then, keep it real, keep it KBS, and you know what's coming next. Not that. I'm only joking. It's this. Keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo. Oh yeah. We've got a super chat coming in. I ain't going anywhere. I ain't going anywhere. No, thank you very much, Mannerus. Thanks to everyone that chips in, be it Patreon, be it the PayPal, be it the super chats. You really don't know how far it goes, truly. So thank you so much.
Hey there, Cabes, love what you do, smiley face.
Yeah, I love what you do, Mannerus. Absolutely, brother. We're all in this crazy game together, folks. We either stick together or we fall apart.